Along with other businesses and nonprofits around the country, the past several months have been difficult for the Pride Center and our community. Coming into 2020, the center was on track to have another great year with expanded services and another successful Pride Festival, but we have experienced a scenario none of us could have imagined just a few months ago. The COVID-19 disruptions forced us to close our doors and reconsider our events, which had a devastating financial impact on the center. But we are fortunate to have an amazing community, hardworking, dedicated staff, supportive donors and sponsors, and we are confident we will weather this storm. We will come out of this stronger.
Going into 2020, the center and its finances were in a great position. We were on track to increase our reserves from 3 months to 6 months of operating income, which is a big accomplishment for a nonprofit. The reserves were being set up in case of an emergency like a rainy Pride Festival, but we couldn't imagine an even bigger disaster. With the festival and other events being canceled, the financial impact was an immediate 70% cut in income. Drastic and quick decisions were needed with creative minds evaluating every expense. The most heartbreaking and painful decisions for everyone that had to be made was to reduce the size of our staff. These decisions were made to ensure the center could continue to support mission-critical jobs such as mental health services, suicide prevention, youth services, and elderly services.
We applied for a PPP loan through Zions Bank and received loan approval after the initial layoffs. After heavily analyzing our financial situation, along with the progression of the COVID-19 virus, we realized that not only would we not be able to have the festival this year, we would have to make additional cuts to programs and staff. Surprisingly, upon thoroughly examining the terms of the PPP program, we found that the loan would have put the center under undue fiscal strain with its requirements and payback schedule. The board and executive director worked diligently to find a pathway that would keep the center's doors open and keep viable our critical programs for youth, mental health, suicide prevention, and support for our elderly. We are grateful to Zions Bank for continuing to guide us through the ever-changing rules of the PPP loan. The center for the last several years has operated in the black, and we have made the decision to keep it that way and not to burden the center with unproductive debt. We want the center to be viable for future generations. We take our fiduciary responsibility seriously, and our accounts are reviewed and audited each year by third-party auditors. The financial 2019 audit is in process, and prior year's financials can be found on our website.
I am so grateful to the center staff for their dedication, and I want to tell you how amazing it's been to watch them pull together and work through these kind of COVID times, right? Joshua Bravo in our mental health area, he and his staff are at full capacity, and I want you to know they're working hard for the community. Amanda Darrow is working with our youth, and we're so grateful for her work and the volunteers who are there with her. Our suicide prevention programs are continuing because of the skill of Katie Perkins. And ever more important, our SAGE program hasn't missed a beat. In fact, under the direction of our watchful and credentialed Deb Hall, who's run the program for years, she's worked with our elder population, and we're so grateful to her, and she's joined forces with others to help keep the SAGE program going. John Johnson, of course, well, there's a lot to be said about him, but we're so grateful he's the gift that keeps on giving. I want to thank all of our staff because they have stepped up to the plate, and they're really there for you, and I hope that you'll continue to support them in the great work they do for all of us. I want to thank you so much, and I look forward to working more with you.
We recently had an exciting conversation with Centrelink, the National Association for Pride Centers. They tell us that LGBT centers across the country are in crisis, and some are imploding with the stress of managing decisions at this time. We are buoyed by the comments from Centrelink that the Utah Pride Center has eyes on us from across the country. Pride centers in the USA have taken notice that despite all of our challenges, we are emerging as one that has managed the transition as well as possible, and we have set the financial groundwork to survive and succeed.
The board of directors has been tirelessly working and have been involved in every decision. Every difficult decision around restructuring, finances, and survival were fully discussed in research. The board and the executive director took an all-on-board approach to make sure everything was done appropriately, ethically, and legally. Doing otherwise was not an option for us. It is the standard by which this board and ED operate.
Although we have members of the boards that are lawyers, business owners, nonprofit professionals, and have HR experience, we reached out for additional eyes and minds to help us guide us through this transition. We have many to thank for their often pro bono work. 3 outside lawyers advised us on processes and procedures. Stratus HR guided us through the best practices and personnel issues. Outside accountants and CPAs provided a second and third set of eyes on our finances to be sure that we are always managing every donation appropriately. There are so many to thank in our community that stepped up during this time, and we are eternally grateful.
It is said that tragedy can bring out the best in people. Well, with the outpouring of support from so many of you, it has lifted our spirits. We are moved by our donors that have been quick to increase their donations to help us with our efforts. For the sponsors and donors working with us to find new ways for them to continue their contribution and involvement. We are encouraged by the incredible personal messages of support and understanding from so many of you. But most importantly, we are confident that we know the center will be here to continue to provide life-saving services for the LGBT+ community. While we have much to do, we promise our attention is on our mission. We will lead with kindness as always. We also have a few things up our sleeve to celebrate our community and keep us vibrant, so stay tuned.
Finally, on behalf of myself and every member of the board, we want to say thank you for all of your support, your love, and your kindness.
I'd just like to thank you for all your passion. Passion is what guides our community, and I think, that is what will get us through this difficult time.
I want to thank the donors and the sponsors for everything you have done and believing in the Utah Pride Center. Thank you.
I want to thank everyone for believing in our mission and for sticking with us during this difficult time.
I want to say thank you very much to our many communities that make up our larger community. Thank you for coming to all of our events. All the money that we raise from those fantastic and fun, fabulous events goes to support our programs. And we hope to really support all of our communities and work so hard to do the best for our communities with all the money that we raise from our events. So thank you so much.
And I just wanted to say thank you to our Utah transgender community for your courage, strength, and for your continued support. Thank you for being part of our family here at the Utah Pride Center.
I just would like to thank the community members for supporting the center in uncharted territory. I would like to really thank sponsors, donors, and just remind everybody of the great work that the Pride Center does, and hang in there with us. We're getting through it.
And I just want to say thank you to all of our supporters, our donors, our community members who are investing in the future of the Utah Pride Center. We appreciate you, we value you, and we look forward to working with you together through all of this.
I just want to let everyone know that the LGBTQ community is about more than just one person. We're a large and diverse group of people. The Utah Pride Center has helped so many people throughout the years, changed lives. For many, we're the only place that they can come to have a safe space.